when you select the Align tool, in the design panel, you get your dimension preferences where you can mark the specifications of how you want your font to appear. Like, you can specify the size of the font that you want. By default, it's taken as 150 mm and you can change it as per your requirement. You can also change whether you want the unit of the size to be in mm or in pixels, meaning that if it's a mm, then when I'm selecting, let's say I'm dimensioning this area, then this is a fixed dimension. It's in the size of this is in mm, so even when I zoom out and zoom in, the dimension will remain same. However, when I select this as pixel, then this becomes a dynamic size, meaning that if you zoom in and zoom out, as per that the dimension will change so that it's visible even when you're significantly zooming out of your drawing. You can also change the font that you are using. We have 4 standard fonts from which you can select. Like, let's say I am selecting Courier New, then the font will change as per. You can also make the font bold or italic depending on your requirement and style, and you can also change the font color. When you select here, you can see the RGB picker and you can select whichever shade you want. Let's say I'm selecting red and click outside, then it turns red. This is how you can make changes in the font of the dimension. You can also specify the style of the dimension line. So herein you get the option of line wherein you have inherit from. You also have the option to specify how you want your dimension line to appear. This is the dimension line. Herein you can specify what thickness of the line you want, what is the size of the arrow that you want. This is the arrow and what is the size of the arrow that you want, what is the line color that you want, and whether you want the support line to be dashed or solid. So suppose if I am selecting, let's say 0.35 mm and I am selecting the arrow length as 10 mm, and I'm selecting the line color as red, and I'm selecting the support line as solid. These are your support lines. This is your dimension line and these are your support lines. So in this case, the dimension line will come in this particular specifications. You can very well see that there is a difference between how my first dimension is coming out versus how my second dimension is coming out. When you select the dimension after adding it, you can again make the same changes in the design portal. Herein, a small difference is that in line, you will be asked to select whether you want the line properties to be inherited from the layer, which will be the default layer settings that you would have set in this dimension layer, or you want it to be customized, for which you can select self and you can specify whatever changes you want in that. You can also make the change here about the support lines, which is dashed and solid just like earlier.